So, my dear friends, I'm going to talk a very little about why we are doing this workshop. Welcome. I welcome each and every one of you who have made the effort to come so early in the morning on a non academic topic. Lifestyle is what we are always talking about. We'll say, ask the patient for lifestyle modifications. But today we are going to discuss and this what is and how you can actually do it. Because what is happening, we say a lot of things, neither we know the meaning nor we are able to convey that meaning to the patient. We've read something somewhere, but an organized workshop covering the major ingredients of lifestyle modification is what we are going to discuss today. Stop my timer. I would like to invite our chairperson for this session. Timer stop karo. Dr. Neha Mothare, Dr. Sunita Kanon, and Dr. Gurpreet Kaur. Welcome all of you. Please start again. So thank you, dear chairpersons, for being here. I thought I have to speak without a chairperson, so I'm honored that you are here. You would like to say a few words before I start my lecture?
We welcome you, ma'am. We are eager to hear you. Thank you so much.
My dear, this is the wrong presentation. Introduction and motivation is the one you have to run. So we start with praying to the divine. Now, my topic is introduction and motivation. Then why are we talking of the divine? My divine may be Ganesh ji, your divine may be someone else. But why the divine? Because every time when we attempt something that is not wholly in our control, we need something to fall back upon, something to draw energy from. Because if we are not able to draw that energy from a source that is bigger than us, now if I say Rajni is bigger than me, my ego comes in the way. But if I say God is bigger than me, my ego doesn't come in the way. So we invoke the divine. We invoke the divine in whichever form you please, and evoking the divine as a part of your daily life connects you to a greater energy. Because we, all of us, I'm asking you, are you alive? Come on, I follow me. Will you please sit? Please sit. Are you alive? Are you just not dead? But are you alive? There are two different things. Being alive and not being dead are two different things. So I'm asking all of you, do you feel you are alive? You are alive when you are able to live in the moment, when you are able to contribute something to yourself and to the society. You're alive. But remember, the first thing that comes is you need to contribute to yourself. You need to feel happy. बुझा दिया दूसरा दिया नहीं जला सकता, तो आपको खुद जलना होगा पहले. So unless you have the light, you cannot share it. Therefore, we invoke the divine first and foremost. And then we come to what is the meaning of life. All of us who have reached a certain stage of life, and midlife beyond 40, kids have gone to hostel, husband is busy in their own jobs, or even if the husband is not there, Your own work has settled into a routine. Sometimes you're getting ready to retire. There are different challenges in life, like your family, your elderly parents, grandparents, they are getting ill. And sometimes it just becomes too much or it becomes empty. There's nothing to do, there's no problem. Because remember, unless there are ups and downs, life doesn't exist. An ECG shows sign of life only when there are ups and downs. A flat ECG, something without any ups and downs, it's not life. It's not life at all. Therefore, we, each one of us, has to understand what life means for us. We have to understand why we are here. Why, what do we have? What is in it? This is a consumeristic lifestyle. हर कोई सोचता है मेरा क्या फायदा है, तो हम इस जीवन में हैं तो उससे हमारा क्या फायदा है, हम आज जिंदा क्यों हैं, मरे नहीं इसलिए जिंदा है कि नहीं हमको इससे कुछ प्राप्त करना है, कुछ देना है। ये जब तक हमारे अंदर क्लियर नहीं होगा, तब तक ये मीनिंग ऑफ लाइफ जस्ट सर्च। एंड आज के जमाने में जितना डिप्रेशन हो रहा है, पेरीमिनोपॉजल मेनोपॉजल, इतना ज्यादा डिप्रेशन, एंजाइटी, डिवोर्स, सुसाइड्स, क्यों? बिकॉज दिस मेजर इंग्रेडिएंट, मीनिंग ऑफ लाइफ, इज मिसिंग। आपको यही नहीं पता कि आप जिंदा क्यों हैं। ओरिजिनली वी यूज्ड टू नॉट जस्ट कॉल आवरसेल्फ धार्मिक, वी वर रियली धार्मिक। तो हमारी लाइफ में हम कोई भी धर्म सुसाइड की इजाजत नहीं देता, बिकॉज जीवन ईश्वर के अधीन है। कोई धर्म नहीं कहता कि आप खुद को मार लो। मगर जैसे जैसे हम कंज्यूमरिस्टिक होते गए, रिलीजन बिकेम अ थिंग ऑफ कन्वीनियंस, इट वॉज नो मोर अ थिंग दैट वी लेड आवर लाइफ बाय, एंड देयरफॉर लाइफ लॉस्ट मीनिंग। बिकॉज यदि आपकी लाइफ का पर्पस ये है कि आपको ईश्वर को प्राप्त करना है, मोक्ष प्राप्त करना है, या आपको इसी जीवन में ईश्वर को प्रकट करना है, ईश्वर से एक संबंध स्थापित करना है, तो आप सोचिए आपका कोई उद्देश्य तो है। पर जब ये कुछ भी नहीं है, तो फिर जो चारवाक का सिद्धांत है, उसके बाद जो दिमाग आता है, ततः किम ततः किम ततः किम ततः किम, व्हाट नेक्स्ट, व्हाट नाउ, कुछ करने को नहीं है। ये भी कर लिया, करोड़पति हो गए। अभी एक महाराष्ट्र के न्यूरोलॉजिस्ट, जिनके घर में हेलीपैड था, उनके प्राइवेट जेट्स में वो मूव करते थे, एंड ही कमिटेड सुसाइड। नोबडी कुड अंडरस्टैंड कि इंद्र के जितना वैभव जिसके पास है, वो व्यक्ति सुसाइड क्यों कर सकता है? क्योंकि देर इज नथिंग मोर टू फाइंड इन द मटीरियलिस्टिक वर्ल्ड। So unless you get in touch with your divinity, life doesn't hold much purpose. It is not relevant whether you are a Hindu, a Muslim, Christian, whatever. But whatever higher authority you believe in, you need to try to connect to that, and that gives you the basic purpose. And I greet all of you. I acknowledge Raipur Menopause Society for giving me this opportunity to be here. And we are talking in this workshop about make lifestyle a core therapy. It should be the core of all therapy. And we all have examples of patients who were diagnosed pre-diabetic, or they were a little obese and they lost weight. Their PCOS got controlled, their diabetes got controlled. With regular walking and exercise, their fitness improved. Injury chances became less, cognitive decline decreased. So, lifestyle is the core, and we all need to do it. So, now I come to these two shlokas from the Bhagavad Gita, which are very, very dear to my heart, and I hold them as beacons. उद्धरेत आत्मनात्मानं नात्मानं अवसादयेत आत्मैव ही आत्मनो बंधु आत्मैव रिपुरात्मना. What it means is nobody can help you. You are your own enemy. You are your own friend. And only you by yourself can raise yourself. So, all this lifestyle changes, whatever anybody says, unless you make it your own, you apply it in your own life, nothing is going to change. You can hear and it will go away. So, the basic thing is we need to allow ourselves to raise ourselves. We need to allow happiness. We need to allow positivity. We need to give permission. Unless we give permission to ourselves to raise ourselves, nothing ever is going to happen. So let us all make ourselves our own friends and not enemies and rise further so that we all achieve goodness and happiness here and now. Because nothing can be gained in the time that is gone, nothing can be gained in the future. Whatever you are going to gain is going to be here and now. अभी जो अभी वर्तमान में नहीं है वो न भविष्य में है न भूतकाल में था. So try to be in the present and allow yourself to be happy. Allow yourself to be motivated because I can try, but motivation is one thing and inspiration is another. If my motivation inspires you, then things get done. There's a difference. So, next we come to the next line, which is the basis of all lifestyle changes. Yuktahar viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. Yoga means absence of division, oneness. How is it attained? It is attained by yuktahar viharasya. Ahar means food, vihar means exercise. So, controlled exercise, controlled diet, yukta cheshtasya karmasu. Whatever your station in life, whatever work you are given, that you are able to do that work properly. Yukta swapnava bodhasya. Swapna, sleep has to be regulated and waking also has to be regulated. And if you are able to do this, we will have a happy life, a life that makes us feel fulfilled. Because fulfillment is the purpose of life. That is why all our Upanishads will start with Purnamada Purnamidam. That everything is complete. We are looking for that completeness, for that fulfillment. And that can be had by a really good lifestyle. Starts now. Now, why are we focusing here on this in midlife? Because this is a time when there are hormonal and metabolic pivots in perimenopause and menopause. 52% girls, women, are obese. 1 in 3 has osteoporosis, and cardiovascular disease is the number one killer. So, if you apply lifestyle changes, lifestyle modifications, you can compress the morbidity into the last few days or weeks of a person's life rather than living for years on the bed. And I think that is what we all want. We want to die active. Because ये मृत्यु लोक है, मरना तो सबको है. But we do not want to be incapacitated and in bed for a prolonged duration. So there are 6 pillars, as I already said in the month. So you need to have a plan forward calcium rich diet, move, aerobic exercises, strength exercises, and flexibility. Then rest, sleep hygiene, and circadian alignment. These days, even youngsters are speaking about sleeping at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Circadian rhythm is gone, and PCOS and its related guests all come into life. You need to connect. As long as you're very hardworking, you have sort of cut off from the community. You have time for the family, and then you have time for the your work, and nothing spare. But now, once you reach perimenopause, you need to connect to the society. What it does is what one of my speakers is going to speak. Then you have hobbies, which keeps the brain plastic and it gives you a purpose of life. What next? What now? There were so many, all of us once were children. We were doing a lot of things. But once you get married or you get into a job, then you are absorbed by that. Once that load decreases, you feel empty. No, get back to what you were doing before. Enjoy that. Maybe drawing, maybe painting, maybe singing, maybe dancing. It can be anything. Dr. Rajini here does so much of plantation. She does so much of kitchen gardening and painting and what. So, you can look for your talents and you can enjoy life every single moment. But how does it all come? In Japan, there is a situation where there is a weekend illness. They work 5 days a week, and Saturday and Sunday they are on leave, and hospitals are full. Because if you have time for sickness, right? So you enjoy that time in the hospital, gives you social support as well. That is not what we want. When we get up, there should be a purpose to life. Why should I leave the bed? What is there, how my day is going to be structured. And one of our guests is going to speak about time structuring. So, motivation is the Prachaska model where you pre contemplation, contemplation, preparation, action, and maintenance. This is how it goes. But you might relapse back anytime or you may progress as well. But where does it start? It starts from pre contemplation. That means you should be ready. स्वामी विवेकानंद सेड कि गुरुओं की कमी नहीं है शिष्य नहीं है यदि शिष्य हो तो गुरु अपने आप आ जाता है दैट मीन्स वी नीड टू बी रेडी गोइंग बैक टू द फर्स्ट मंथ उद्धरेत आत्मनात्मान यू नीड टू बी रेडी टू चेंज टू implement the changes to have a more fulfilled life. You need to have tiny habits and habit stacking. There are extrinsic factors which you cannot control, but your intrinsic factors are in your hand, and you should be able to control them so that you can get more out of the time you have been given on this earth. And always, the joy is in the journey. If you are going to postpone your happiness to the future, you're never going to get it. So enjoy the journey. Whatever little changes you are able to make, celebrate those changes and motivate yourself. Because what may appear like a Herculean task to somebody may, be just so simple to somebody. But celebrate your own successes, enjoy the journey, and that itself is going to lead forward. Women have a triple burden: work, home, caregiving. Many people think exercise is for the young. If you take a lot of protein, it bulks you up. And then women are supposed to do self care, do family care. But we have to understand self care will only lead to family care. Because if you have a healthy woman, she can look after a household. If she falls sick, we all know what happens to the family. So keep healthy. All of you can do Anulom Vilom. Jyoti will have it done. So I'm going to skip this because I have 50 seconds left. I have in the introduction like to introduce you that Dr. Rashmi Vats is going to talk on diet, Dr. Shalini Jain on hobbies, Dr. Anamika Singh on social involvement, Yog and Pavan Muktasan. The basic things that you need to do every single day will be taken by Yog Jyoti. Time structure by Dr. Gurpreet. We all know how much work she gets done. And we have Mrs. Sapna Ingle, I think, right? Shitole, she is going to speak on sleep culture because insomnia is such a problem at a certain age. So, how to deal with all that? And if you are able to take the advice of our six experts, definitely you are going to have a healthy life and a fulfilled life as well. Midlife is a time of strategic reset, it is not downhill. invest 1% of the day in health, reap 100% of life's possibilities. So at the end, we will have, you can take this, Rajni. So, so we will take all the questions at the end of the workshop. I now hand over to the chairpersons to take this discussion forward. Thank you so much.